So on Queen Beatrice hive today, I'm checking to see how much of the frames they've built comb on, and also I'm going to try to do some comb straightening because they've been building some really crooked comb, and they're just going to propagate that crooked pattern onto each frame, and it makes for a messy inspection. So I want to see what I can do to straighten it out. I don't really know how I'm going to do it. I have an idea, but I don't know how well it's going to really work. But we'll try it.
I can take it off.
No, just leave it.
No. Where else is it?
Give it a little more smoke here. Wow, I didn't think there was any comb in here because I couldn't see it. Oh, and it was attached to the wall, so it all tore away. I've been bringing in some honey, putting it on this frame, and they haven't really gone too crooked yet with this frame. So, because the crooked section starts after the halfway point on the other frames. They've been building it pretty straight, except for this bulge here, which is all right. I mean, it's honey. And then when I get to the other frames, you'll probably be able to see better, but after about the halfway point, it starts to diverge and move on to the frame next to it. That's what I'm going to try to fix today. Here is one that they have cross-frame comb. The comb is crossing the frame, and I'm tearing it all apart. Can you see in the camera how the comb here is hanging out?
No, well,
Because this comb here was crossing the frame and attached to this one next to it.
yeah.
So what I'd like to do is see if we can get a close-up of how we're going to try to fix this comb on the camera.
Is it doing the same thing on the other one?
Yep.
How
It's
many
doing
of
it all the way across. I can see it all the way across.
You know, you could try reattaching it to the same piece it's on.
That's what I'm going to try to do.
Oh, so
Right. This frame off without completely tearing the comb apart. So here's our problem wax right here. I don't know if I'll have David swing it around here. This piece, let's go this way. This piece here is was built across the frame, and I'm going to try cutting it off back a little ways. And we have some brood here. I don't want to, so I'm going to try to be careful of the brood while I work. There isn't any in this part of the comb. This is fairly new and
you could
empty.
get all the bees off the comb if you wanted.
No, because we have brood there, and I want to keep them working on it. Just try not to breathe directly on them. They don't seem to like it. And my plan here is to just push it back in gently and kind of squish it up against the guide bar. I'll take care of it. You just hold the frame.
Yeah, it was just that worked.
Well, it's being held in place by the upright, which seems to work pretty well.
Well, and this side.
And then hopefully they'll reattach. They'll do a better job of attaching it than I'm doing. Ooh, it smells good. So there's some larvae right here, and some cat brood next to that. So, all right, that seemed to work pretty well. We'll just have to repeat that step on all the other frames. I wasn't able to attach it to the guide bar because there wasn't enough comb there to really squish it into place, but it's being wedged in place against the side upright there. And then hopefully the bees will come back in and attach it really well along the top, and everything will be all right. Because now it's nice and straight.
You split on the other side, and then you just bent it.
So I'll put it back in, and we'll start the same process on all the frames. It's a huge mess in there. All the frames have that cross comb. Okay, so we finished straightening up all the comb. Everything has been, I guess, surgically repositioned. On this first frame here, they had actually doubled the comb up on this frame, and the second piece had all pollen in it. So actually I removed that, and to let them keep the pollen, I relocated it to the opposite side here. You can see a couple rubber bands here, and that's my attempt to try to hold the comb in place so that they can reattach it. it's kind of a thin piece of comb, and the rubber bands aren't doing a very good job of holding it. So I had to pin it. I stuck a bobby pin through one of the holes in the frame and into the wax to kind of stabilize it, hold it in position until they reattach it. Then I'll take that bobby pin out. But other than that, I think I did an adequate job of reducing the damage and fixing things so that it's now all straight. I had thought about possibly adding on another box on top here and pyramiding them up, but I'm going to leave them for now. They have a lot of work to do to fix everything that I just messed around with, and then next weekend I'll come back in, see if they've reattached everything well, and see how things look, and at that time possibly add a second box. So that's it for Queen Beatrice, and hopefully they'll get everything put back together again nicely.